Kebab is over, must be the Mad Commodore breakfast show time. And also the camera's a bit crooked, but can't have everything. I mean kebab, kofta kebab for breakfast, and the camera lined up perfectly. This is not a thing. You're asking too much of your luck, sir. Especially my luck. Bloody hell, don't get me started on that. So, I think I am going to upload this video because yesterday was a very important day. Was it the day before? I can't remember if it was before or after midnight. Saturday stroke Sunday. Now what I did was go and find disc images for basic lightning, white lightning, machine lightning, the rebranded basic lightning by Ocean called Laser Basic, the Laser Basic compiler, and the rebranded by Ocean machine lightning called Laser Genius, which doesn't need a compiler, and all the manuals for all of those. And luckily only took about half hour to find everything I needed. Now I do actually have the original white lightning, basic lightning double pack for the C64. Now I also have these images for the Amstrad CPC, but they're disk images, and I've got no way to load disk images onto an Amstrad 464. I don't have a 6128, let alone one with a Gotek USB drive fitted, so I could actually load them. Which is a shame, because I think if Laser Basic on the Amstrad is as good as the C64, and you get to use the 16 colour unrestricted mode of the Amstrad in Laser Basic, I think it's mode 2, you know, the same as the so-called 16 colour mode on the C64, which never is 16 colours, because most of those games are in character based screens. Which means at least 2 of the 4 colours in every character block have to be the same, and hence they're usually fucking black and white, or you know, black and light grey, or white and darkest grey. Whereas on the Amstrad, just pick 16 out of 27 colours and you can stick them right next to each other if you want. CPU doesn't care. So I've done that because I want to start writing games on the C64. And the reason I want to do that on an SD card is because the C64 full size at some point will be connected up to an LCD TV and left out as well, for the cats to cover in their litter tray dust and hair. Yes sir, retro hardware should be enjoyed. Don't put it up on a pedestal, the cats will just jump up there, knock it down and crush the box and break the polystyrene trays. There, I've said it, deal with it. So, now that's going to be a bit later, but I do have the actual package to read, you know, the actual manual. Now my reasoning for doing this is because compiled Laser Basic, which also compiles basic lightning programs, luckily, because you get more memory with basic lightning, should run the same sort of speed as the white lightning 4th FORTH language based version of the same thing, the same commands basically. But Forth is a compiled language. It's not interpreted like Basic Lightning. So compiled Basic Lightning should be like White Lightning. Perhaps maybe a slight difference up or down a few percent, but that's basically it. So at least the pokes should be fast, if nothing else. But Laser Basic has a lot of great things. And one thing I do remember, because I did want to write Berserk for the C64 as a teenager, school studies got in the way. They're called O-levels, mate, and if you fuck them up, you ain't gonna get a job. Not that you'd get a job anyway. But one of the functions was take this area of, the background screen and put that into a hardware sprite, which is perfect for Berserk because although there's more than 7 robots plus you on the screen, which is 8 hardware sprites, not all of them are moving at the same time. So as long as only 7 robots moved and the others just stood there, they could still be animated, they're just not going to move. And I want to do Cylons. I haven't, or robots like the one on Forbidden Planet with Walter Pigeon, that one. I can't remember the name of the robot now. So yeah, that'd be quite an easy thing. Because Basic Lightning has software sprites, so that takes the arse ache out of user-defined graphics and moving them 1 pixel at a time. And you can have multiple screen windows, and some can be text and some can be graphics. So it just simplifies things. Plus, Basic Lightning would allow you to run 3 tasks under interrupt. So you're not going to get Rob Hubbard music. You're not going to get any music, mate. I don't do music in Basic Lightning. I don't do music at all on the C64. I'm not that sort of talent. But I can do some sort of graphics. Or you can tell it's breakfast by the temperature of the coffee is still boiling hot. Maybe I should chew my breakfast kebab kofte wrap more. Allow the coffee to cool down. Who knows, sir? But as I'm only about 50% diabetic now, and when I say diabetic, I mean extremely diabetic. You go blind if you have a fucking slice of cake. Obviously it will take 6 months, but you can't stop it. Damage is irreversible. But yeah, I've got some car sprites, and I did some tests, and it's got to the point where it would be easier just to now put those graphics into Basic Lightning and just quickly animate them, rather than piss about with a PC Paint program, especially if they're going to move on the screen. So there's no point. At some point you have to say, right, what are the Basic Lightning restrictions? So we'll have to read the manual there. But I'm in 2 minds whether to do that, because Basic Lightning is something I used a lot, and then I got Laser Basic later with the intention of getting the Laser Basic compiler, which they said was coming. Still remember buying Laser Basic. It was either Boots or WH Smith's in Enfield Town. And I spent my bus fare. That's how much I wanted it. I really wanted to write stuff on the C64, but I wanted to write it and have something on the screen quicker than I could learn to do the same thing in machine code. It'll obviously be much better in machine code, but once you've got a great idea for a game and the graphics look nice and the animations work, you can see that if it ran, you know, 3 times faster, it would be better, because you can. It's almost like checking something out in slow motion. You know, like when you lose a point in tennis, if you look in slow motion at the ball hitting the ground, whether it's in or out the lines, it's actually easier. So you won't really be able to play the game, but you'd be able to see that you've done something. And there was a picture of a platform game with a very weird character actually on the back of that package, and sadly I don't have the large plastic clamshell, I only have the cardboard box edition of White Lightning. But anyway, I spent my extra, like, whatever, and my lunch money, because it was more than the price of a regular game, even on cassette. So we walked home. Laser Basic comes in an enormous clamshell, and the manual is sort of like black, shiny, photo quality inkjet paper kind of thing, printed in a sort of charcoal black. So I remember, like, flicking through the manual at the bench, not the bus stop. There was a bench, you know, outside the park on the way back. And with my mate Keith Kearney, if you're out there, buddy, I hope you're okay. Never heard from Keith since I had to leave the country and work in another country, because in the recession of 1990 we didn't have a furlough, we didn't have the government paying us. You fucking ungrateful bastards, just shut up. What alternative did we have? Unemployment benefit. That fucking dumb bitch Kay Burley going on about, their minimum wage is going to go down then from like £8 to £5.50. Could you live on that? And I say to her, well, what about us in the 90s, the early 90s? That fucking recession there, we had to live off fucking £25 a week, mate. You try that, you bitch. It wasn't that cheap in 1990. You'd have trouble living off that in fucking 1979, you bitch. Never mind the 90s. That fucking annoys me. But anyway, because my hands were hot, they weren't sweaty, they were just hot. The, you know, the steam from your warm hands in a coldish sort of day. I don't think it was winter, I think it was autumn. It might have been just before we went back to school. I'll have to check whenever Zach reviewed it. I think Laser Genius came first and Gary Liddon reviewed that, and then I think they did Laser Basic as well. But it kind of leaves like a rainbow effect on the black cover. But I remember really getting into Basic Lightning, and it's a real shame I don't have any of those programs. I wrote something like Gem Paint with pull down menus and everything, all controlled by the joystick. Before GEOS was a thing, I was just basically going on a couple of like pictures of what the Macintosh looked like and what I'd read. You know, the original 1984 Macintosh. So I was trying to replicate that, and famously I used some interesting colour choices, light blue and black instead of white and black. So subconsciously, even back then, I knew that the Trinitron screen in the original Macintosh had a slightly bluer tint, because in the photographs it looked different to the British television we had, which has a very warm colour temperature. And if you don't know what that means, then forget it. But yeah, so I was like experimenting with like light blue and dark grey, light blue and black, blue, white and blue, Because the TV I had, portable Triumph 14-inch TV, was also quite a warm colour temperature. There's really only the Sony, the Grundigs, and the Panasonic, I think they were called Quintrix, they're CRTs. If you watch like a black and white movie next to another brand of TV next to one of them three, let's say you're watching Psycho, the image will look slightly more bluish. Actually makes it nicer, because grey is an unnatural thing for the human brain to process. It never feels real. Even if you watch Psycho in the cinema, because it's black and white, we don't see the world in black and white, so it will never be like reality. However, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all that shit people up. People were leaving the theatres halfway through the movie, puking up in the aisles. That was... people were freaking out, because at the start of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre it says this is based on a true story. It's like, yeah, maybe like 5%, 95% of it is bollox, but there was no way of knowing that. There was no internet, no one had reviewed the movie yet, and people didn't read movie reviews. You saw the trailer, or you just... the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just the name alone, you're going to go and watch it if you're remotely interested in something other than fucking Out of Africa, which won an Oscar, so I had to go and watch that in the cinema with my family. Oh, but Lord of the Rings, the Ralph Bakshi version, that wasn't interesting enough, so we had to leave after 45 minutes. Because my dad was 50-50 about it, and the rest of my family, which is female, did not like it at all, and I just wanted to watch it. I found the art style of the animation absolutely fascinating and grotesque at the same time. Hobbit feet have never looked so disgusting as the Ralph Bakshi. Yeah, it is Lord of the Rings, I'm sure it is. But I think he also did the Hobbit. I seem to remember seeing that on YouTube as well. But anyway, the point is, I'm going to start programming stuff because it's easier than trying to pretend or simulate, basic lighting using the graphics that I've created. The graphics are easier to create on my PC, but I can't do anything with them. They're just static images, and no one watches my channel anyway. They're certainly not going to really give a shit about Street Fighter 2 graphics unless I do something with them. Maybe like 3 frames in a bounce animation for like Dalsim and just in front of a background. I'm not sure how I do the background. I hope, actually I really hope basic lighting supports multicolour mode. It's going to be a bit of a shit. So anyway, let's play something. Not COD, that doesn't mean it's haddock and chips. Now that a lot of versions of games have been lost. Things that people knocked up, maybe gave to a few friends, maybe tried to sell in a mail order, small publication, maybe even just an advert in a newsagent's window. Somewhere out there may have been a brilliant version of Berserk that we've never fucking seen, and nobody remembers anymore. Maybe the 5 people who ever played it in the world, they're all dead. But this is someone else's take on Berserk, and this is rubbish. Look how slow your shots are. Sound effects are nice. Jesus Christ, see what I mean? You cannot escape them unless you're like 2/3 of the screen away. I mean, fucking hell. At least you can fire diagonally. Very difficult though. I'm I fire diagonally? Yeah, see, you can't fire diagonally. So on top of your shit methods, making it unplayable because you're too slow and your shots are too slow. But the point is, you could do something like this in basic lightning in a day. And I was really into that. But the thing that's holding me back is I want the memories of what I used to do on it as much as possible. I think I tried to create a program to design, simple electronic circuits on. You know, they have the symbols for the resistor and the transistor, and you connect up the lines. You'd have to do it manually, but it was basically like halfway between an actual circuit designer that would test the circuit and one that you'd have to draw every single time in, like, I don't know, the designer's pencil, which I actually had for the C64. I think I got that from one of those software libraries where you sign up for membership, and the membership thing is like a whole load of games you can pick from at stupid prices for like £1. So yeah, this is a very reflective breakfast show that might not get uploaded, but the point is, I don't want to destroy memories, because if I start using it, the way memory works is memories get grouped together. So if you use basic lightning and you have even the faintest memory of ever using basic lightning, and I mean you could close your eyes and visualize yourself in that split second in time, 3.5 decades ago, that's really going to get overwritten by your new memories to do basic lightning. Not overwritten, but overshadowed in the same way that, if you're looking through a telescope at Alpha Centauri or even Proxima Centauri, and you're trying to see the planets as they pass in front of the sun through a telescope, 2.5 light years away. Well, the light from the sun completely obliterates anything but a tiny shadow over the sun with the most advanced telescopes we got. You can't actually see any detail. So then I'll be left with knowing, oh well, I did do this, and I did do this with Laser Basic. I can't remember any of the games I've tried to do. Apart from the one that I always go on about, which I watched possibly V the Final Battle, the mini-series, and I loved it, and I went straight on my Commodore 64, possibly like, the next day. And I'm like looking at basic lightning, and I'm thinking, how could you do that as a game? And I came up with a combination of Choplifter with isometric graphics. So basically Desert Strike, but you also had to destroy things and shoot incoming, the alien fighter craft, and you had stolen one from the mothership, and that was the story. That's how you've got one, because Donovan learns how to fly one, and he's a human in that. So that's how I created Desert Strike, basically, under a V franchise, which a lot more people would have bought if that's what V the computer game was about. I never finished it, never told anyone about it, so EA didn't rip me off. It's just I came up with the idea first. If I was a machine code programmer, they would know about it by now. I'd be bloody rolling in it, mate. Trip Hawkins, I'd send you to the cleaners. Let's try it again. Oh look, he's taken pity on me now. So the only way to get them is like round the corner, and they're not going to come to you. How far do you have to go in? Oh. Look at that, how are you supposed to get it? I can't even like go down there, I reckon. See, you can't even pass it let alone shoot him as you pass, because you have to pause. Highly annoying game. Okay, you can blame the zip stick for that. I wouldn't have had a 35-year-old bloody zip stick when I was playing this. Now, diagonals is a problem. So this one is following me. And they don't walk into the walls. See, they're too intelligent. We need the Microsoft Windows robots that just crash into the wall. Crash happy Microsoft. This is not playable at all. This guy has probably optimised the speed in compiled BASIC. There were loads of compilers. Some for standard Commodore BASIC actually. They don't look sprite sized. Could be wrong. They do look possibly. Hard to say actually. It's a terrible version of Berserk. But out there somewhere there may be a beautiful version of Berserk that everyone's forgotten. And you're gonna say, oh, that's bollocks, but I keep checking GameBase and they haven't got the 10 games from a one-off special by Computer and Video Games, which was, I presume, was format specific, because this book that I've never seen anyone even show a cover of or even mention, except for me, you know, 1.5 decades ago on forums. Luckily people don't look at that now. There are 10 games in there. Now there is one game from the C64 from CVG that someone did actually sell to a software company, and that did actually get published. It's just exactly the same game, and you could have done the same thing. You could have like taken that listing, changed the graphics, changed the sound effects, improved it in a way that you think it should have been improved, rang up you know, one of the cheaper soft, maybe even Mastertronic. Could have gone to Mastertronic and said, yeah mate, here's my version of Jupiter Lander. Lunar Rescue is something I want to do on Basic Lightning. Yeah, every time I play all these shit versions of that, I'm like, well, that looks like it's been written in BASIC. Well, at least if I did it in Basic Lightning and then compiled it, we could have smooth scrolling, you know, single pixel movement, like user-defined graphics. And you wouldn't have to use multicolour mode either for that. And the sprites, well, you can't use them for the rocks moving left and right. But you could definitely use them for your ship, your flames, lasers, explosions maybe. Maybe it's faster to animate a hardware sprite than a software sprite. But I think that's what I'm going to do. And you could change the attributes. So if the background is always black and you just, you know, the attributes never move, like the rocks on the first row, if they're always going to be purple and then the ones underneath will be green, you can always do it. That's how they do it on the Spectrum. You could even do it vertically if you wanted to, but that's not that kind of game. Things move horizontally, so the colours should not change vertically. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So Berserk and Lunar Rescue. But yeah, there's 10 games that no one has ever mentioned apart from me. No one has ever shown a cover of to anyone, because I've never done it and I've never seen it. And in there are at least 10 games, and it wasn't like a freebie. You actually had to buy it. It was probably on sale to replace, you know, the 1985 yearbook. I don't think they did a 1986 CVG yearbook, which was like an annual, An annual was a special thing you buy for someone. If someone liked a particular comic or magazine, there would be an annual, and that would be like loads of good stuff, bit of the past, what they've done already, what's happened, and what's coming in the future. Yeah, it was good stuff. It was like a really mega. Well, it wasn't like a hardback, but it was like a cardboard cover. It wasn't like a regular magazine. Yeah, they're really good, they are. And of course CVG did the guide to consoles, which sadly some are still missing. But they were on that website I was on that got shut down because some idiot uploaded an image of fucking FIFA Soccer. I think it was for the PlayStation. And this was the time of the PS2. PS1 was long dead, but Electronic Arts sent them a cease and desist order, and they immediately destroyed any evidence of who they were running that site. Ugh, that's how bad it was, and it still is. Private torrent sites usually get fucked because companies who own copyrights do not want to hear the word torrent. To them, torrent is automatically law breaking. But it's not true. You can have a gun, but without a human being pulling the trigger and killing someone, there's nothing wrong with a gun. The gun could be used for all sorts of things. Alright, 80% of them are for killing other humans. No, actually I don't agree with that. You get a lot of arseholes that go hunting for animals in the woods, yeah. And those idiots who just fucking fire shots at road signs, tin cans. Tin Can Alley. I never had Tin Can Alley. Yeah, we've seen all of those. I probably won't be able to buy that because I'd have to go to the bank to put money in my account. But yeah, I know what I want to do, but anyway, we're making progress with the kitchen. Today the appliances are coming out of the kitchen, and basically everything that can be removed from the kitchen and the extension is going to be removed, with the possible exception of the door that I took off between the kitchen and the extension. That's still going to stay propped up against the wall. Because oddly, that door is bigger than the toilet door. Because there's a toilet between the kitchen and the extension. I know, stupid, but hey. The extension was built at a time where it was just somewhere to stick your 1970s washing machine and tumble dryer. And you have a sink in there to like wash your hands after you've been gardening or something. Especially with a garden as big as this. Oh, there's a game called Project X. I'll download it just because it's a game called Project X that's a shoot 'em up, or because it looked good. Or a Proteum, it probably would have. Hang on, Satan, an Astro Marine Corps. Astro Marine Corps. Is that the arcade conversion? We'll do After the War. This is dynamic. I believe they did army moves. I think it was your first introduction to them as someone living in the UK probably. It's a horrendous fucking game. Doesn't matter if it's in machine code. If you don't want to fucking play a game, then and army moves is one of those. My mate had army moves on the Amstrad. It's like a shit game in bullet time. So people say it's better on the Amstrad, but it's only better because it's so fucking slow, and you have a chance to attempt to react to the ridiculous difficulty level. If a game's difficult, you don't make it less difficult by making the game unplayably slow. When things, well, actually most of the time the game engine is running. But yeah, my mate definitely had army moves for the Amstrad. I didn't buy it for the C64. Didn't get good reviews in Zap anyway. I didn't like the game. Certainly, even if I hadn't had to use the Wiko Boss joystick on my friend's Amstrad CPC, it wouldn't have made that much difference. This is not my kind of game, mate. So it's a couple of years after, I guess. What the fuck is going on with them graphics? That's really weird. The top half does not move at all. I mean, just have one extra frame of animation and my god, he's wiggling his hips more than if Gok Wan's consciousness suddenly arrived in a ripped human body. With the Arnold Schwarzenegger crop blonde hair, I should say. No, actually, yeah, I can't remember what colour hair he had. So how do you jump then? Alright, there's no jumping in this game. So you end up back here again. Can't actually punch any of these things. I mean, apart from scrolling, you could do all of this in Laser Basic. I don't think you could have backgrounds this diverse and complicated. This is not a great game. I certainly wouldn't be happy with this. There's just no style to it. I can accept it's a simple game. There's just no style to the game. The graphics, I mean. You know, if the animation was better, much better. That's a perfect spot for David Ward's comment about the graphics are not Commodore standard anymore. Certainly not the animation. Would we have laughed at his insanely stupid animation? I'm getting creamed, and you only get one life. Astro Marine Corps it is then. So, Lunar Rescue and Berserk. Now, what am I going to call my software house? I don't know, mate. I don't know. What would you call this software? Mad Software? I don't like that. Mad Commodore Software. MCS. Mad Commodore Software. Berserk! New boy! Nah, I don't think that, yeah, although... I saw a clip of Mexico 86, the advert for the actual World Cup event on ITV. Back from like 86, And so it's just like all these Mexico '86 logos and the World Cup and yeah, anyway, some rubbish photo montage type thing with a video editor. But that was spliced together with you know, action shots of you know, real football. And I was thinking, if you take World Cup Carnival and you know, you splice in screenshots of, not screenshots, actual game footage of World Cup Carnival into the rest of that to replace the live football stuff, and I did a new voiceover and you add some cheesy music with some sound effects as well for, like, you know, crowds cheering at football matches, I thought that would be really funny, and it'd take forever to do, and about 30 people would watch it after a week, and I'd think, well, fucking waste of time. However, I might do it for myself and never upload it. Alright, we've played SAS Combat. What's mission? Mission Jupiter. Let's check this out. It's got to be a shoot 'em up. It's got the word Jupiter in it. Mission is something military people do. We have to, actually not necessarily. Mission to Mars is a NASA thing. But it definitely involves space, and if it involves space and it's by Codemasters, it's got to be a shoot 'em up. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. Now, what's that early shoot 'em up? Is it Star Force? Yeah, there's an arcade game. I wonder if, I know it's on the NES, whatever it is, but I wonder if there's any version for the C64. I did search for Star Force on Game Base 64 and I couldn't find anything, so, but it could be called something else. Two crack throws. Let's see how bad this is. Unlimited fuel? The fuck have I got fuel in the shoot 'em up for? My ammo is limited. What the fuck is this? That came out well. I said what the fuck is, and it said Mission Jupiter in a scratchy sort of voice. What the hell? I guess I have to jump over that. Yeah, that was a good guess there, Mad Commodore. Some flames, and you have to jump over it. Alright, that was a guess, if I could collect that. So it's kind of like sidearms if you're out of jetpack fuel, I suppose. Well, you can stay up there. Oh, for fuck's sake. Ah, Jesus Christ, I'll just stay up here then, thanks mate. Why would you go down here? Fuck the points. I suppose you got to collect the fuel and the ammo, innit? Ah, Jesus Christ. But that's what happens. Jupiter looks suspiciously like not a gas giant planet, really. I'm not sure how those plants. Come on, is it going fast? So this game would have been £2.50. See, I'm just treating it as jumps, so that's a mistake. Because I'm pushing forward as well as up. Because I don't know, it's confusing. But back then, that wouldn't have been an issue. being shot in the head would have been an issue. Being shot in the bollocks would have been an issue. So it's basically like Drop Zone meets Moon Patrol, basically. You've got the gravity of Drop Zone, but you can't control where you're moving. It's an on-rails Drop Zone with rubbish graphics. Breakfast litter trays, here we come. Alright, so if you do collect them, they are completely filled up, so that's good. So you know if you have to risk it for some biscuits. Are they going to be missiles? No. What is that then? Just spikes in the road, that's just mean, man. That's James Coburn who says that, and I don't know what film that's for. Oh shit, we're out of ammo, innit? And we're out of fuel. Oh no! But there's nothing to pick up, and there hasn't been for ages. Ah, bullshit that is. So it gives me them there. I bet you can't go on here. Alright, keep an eye out on the bottom. Is there anything I can actually pick up? No. So maybe I shouldn't be shooting them. But you still got the fuel issue. You only live once, you're going to run out of fuel anyway. Yeah, look, we are going to run out of fucking fuel. Yeah, no, that's unfair. That Mission Jupiter, that's an unfair game, that is. Don't think I missed out by not owning that particular game. Man, it's so the right time for a coronavirus diaries video. There is so much for intelligent people to have to know about. What these fucking idiots are complaining about. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not only that, if you fucking stop trying to fucking knob some ugly bitch every night in the fucking pub, we might actually stop the spread of the virus. That is your fucking fault, mate, you little cocksuckers. Kamikaze is another shoot 'em up. Creation is the Microsoft release of the Codemasters game creation thing. It made things like Jungle Story, that kind of shit. Maybe not actually. Well, trying to think of a game, the really early games. Anyway, it's rubbish, so we're not doing that. I think Robin Hood is a platform game. So let's see what Codemasters disc image has got. CJ in the USA, and CJ's Elephant Antics, which is why it's there. Because E comes before I just can't fit CJ and Elephant Antics in there. Even though the file names are twice the length of a Windows 3.1 PC. Thank you! Decades fucking later. We've had Grand Prix Simulator, although I do like Grand Prix Simulator. I find it annoying that every track has got bridge. That's the only thing really. I'd rather they just cross the tracks over, because there's only two of you on the track anyway. Poltergeist is a shoot 'em up. Sky Heist done. Striker. All wrestling. Well, this is a long video. Nah, even if I squint, I can't see exactly 40 how many minutes it is. I think it might actually be coming up to 50 minutes right about now. It is. So it was 49. Looking forward to writing some shitty little games on the C64. You probably wouldn't like them, but I think I'd enjoy them. I'd enjoy learning how to write them, because knowing how to do things doesn't matter whether it's how to do things in BASIC. You still have to do things in a certain order, even if you write a game engine in machine code. So you still have to know all the different things you have to do and the things you have to check, and then do in response to those checks, or not do. I'm going to try putting 8-bit slicks on the D81 image, maybe that'll work then. Your character looks alright, that character looks shit. I don't think red and brown or orange should be used together, they're too close. Let's see if we can frame like Chun-Li in it. This is more like fucking Thai boxing than a wrestling match at the moment. So they can knee him. No, it's still like more like a boxing thing. What the hell? How does he do moves like that? It's not a sign of a good game. Why do I have to wait for him to fucking suffocate me with his smelly cock? Fuck off. It's one of those games where you have to beat him. I'm doing the usual Street Fighter type weird shit. He's not even getting a fucking punch in, so it's a shit game if he fucking, you know, he can just come along and fucking sit on you and fucking go all fucking weird and stick his fucking crotch in your face and then win the match. So it's win-win for him. So your energy recovers. Is it me doing that or him? I don't want to fucking... Right, it's a shit game. Next. Life's too short, mate. And time is too short. I've got loads of stuff to do before Christmas. Actually, I'd like to do a load of stuff before Halloween. Never you mind why. Perhaps I'm a vampire. That's none of your business, mate. Although I don't think I can afford to buy any of the ART supplies for Halloween. Don't even have a printer, actually. Never got round to buying a printer or a monitor for my PC. Bit late now, innit? To buy them online, I have to go to the bank. I don't fancy dying just so I can buy a fucking printer. I've got no use for them things when I'm dead. This is quite a large directory. That was the other idea I was going to do. It was like the titles for chips and interspersed with some nice video edited footage of bike games, and then do loads of bike games together, but I didn't really download enough. Funny that Mainmeister was going on about Olympic Skier by Mr. Chip Software, which is a Sean Southern game, because I played that a couple of months ago. Of course, I've got no way of proving that now. mean, I could upload the video, but there's nothing in the video that proves it's like 2 months old or whatever. Same thing happened with a Hexpert. Have I played Grand Prix Master? I think Grand Prix Master and a Spa GP Master might be the same thing. Max Talk is a reasonable super hang-on knockoff. No, I don't want to play super hang-on, just so I can have some footage of me swearing at super hang-on and giving you some technical babble about why it's shit anyway, and then introducing the 2-3 month old review I've already done of Max Talk by Bubble Bus. Nah, what's the point? What's the point? There is no point, only Zool. And bang the cup. No one gives a fuck anyway. Quite a few apples still on my apple tree. And I did hear the children today in the playing field behind my house. So I think the school's open, because the school does use that playing field for their, you know, sports and stuff. Plus I saw the cars clogging up my road anyway. You can see the traffic, so I know the school's open. That's not work traffic. Work traffic is half as much. In fact, most of the traffic between 8:30 and 9 are people driving their kids to school. Right, I was just going to show you a bloody demo, because I have actually played this and I may have reviewed it. Oh, this is the game. It is a Spa GP Master, which is a Spanish version. Yeah, I'm teasing you, man. You're not gonna. I'm not playing that now. That's something you could write in even compiled Laser Basic. That's Laser Genius stroke Machine Lightning all the way. I seem to remember Laser Genius, the editor, is really good actually. And that was the opinion of someone who'd done some amateur machine code. The actual reviewer in a certain magazine. I'm not going to mention his name. Right, what other bike games are there? Obviously, Space Talisman is not a bike game. Robotron is though. It's not the Atari Robotron. Anyway, might upload that video. That just leaves retro talk. Really? Alright, I'm going to end the video there. This might actually be a proper review now.